So we all want the perks that come with premium tier credit cards, which includes luxurious travel benefits, cashback offers, exclusive access, and some pretty high welcome bonus offers. But the flip side of that coin is that there's a lot of annual fees. And when you have multiple elite tier credit cards in your wallet, those fees end up adding up pretty quickly. My favorite example is like, if you have a luxury car, you got a Ferrari or a Lamborghini in your driveway and you never use it, you're not maximizing the benefit. You're not getting any ROI. So ladies and gents, in this video, we're gonna be breaking down what I believe are the 7 premium tier credit cards so that you know how to maximize every single benefit in a given year so you feel like you're getting every penny back that it's worth. So these cards won't just sit in your wallet, collect dust, but they'll be actively working for you, helping you make the most amount of dollar that you spend. So starting out with the first card on our list, this is gonna be the Amex Gold card. Now this card here is great because it's one of the easiest cards to break even on with all of the credits and rewards that you get. For starters, this card here has a $250 annual fee, but if you take a look at the rewards you get for that price, it's a lot. Right off the bat, you get 60,000 MR points after you spend $4,000 in the first 6 months of card membership. This year breaks down to be about $670 in spending a month for those 6 months, and it'll earn you an equivalent of $600 or more at a conservative point redemption rate. With this card, you're also earning 4x membership reward points at restaurants, including takeout and delivery within the US. You get 4x back on US supermarkets on up to 25 grand per year. You get 3x for flights booked with airlines or the American Express travel portal, and then 1x back on all other spending. Now, let me tell you, that is just the beginning though, because you also get $120 annual dining credit. You get $120 in Uber cash credit, and then you get $100 experience credit when you book a minimum 2-night stay with the Amex Hotel Collection. Now, my favorite part about this card is that the annual fee is pretty much wiped out if you're able to fully utilize the dining and Uber credits that you get every single year. But beyond that, the value of this card definitely comes in on how high the rewards are on groceries and dining. Another point to note is that with the cards on this list, everything works really well with the cards that are coming up because the rest of them are a bit more travel focused. By the way, with all of these cards, I'll mention you guys a credit score that you should have before applying. This is gonna be 670. You wanna have that as the minimum score for the gold card. All right, so up next, we have the Capital One Venture X card. For years, Capital One was mostly designed for people looking to rebuild their credit, but with their recent card additions, they've started to target a much more premium market. For starters, the annual fee on this card is a touch higher than the Amex Gold card, sitting at $395. Now, this also leads to the big question, is it worth the annual fee? So right off the bat, you get 75,000 bonus miles after you spend $4,000 in the first 3 months. That's crazy. For this, the breakdown works in the way you have to spend $1,350 every 3 months for those first 3 months, but with most people's everyday spend, I think y'all should be able to hit this. With this card, you also get 10,000 bonus miles on every account anniversary, and these miles are worth at least 1 cent each, meaning in the first year, you'll get $850 in miles pretty much without any other spending. On top of that, the rewards on this card is very simple. It's 10x Capital One miles on hotels and rental cars booked through the Capital One travel portal. You get 5x miles on flights booked through the Capital One travel portal as well. And on top of that, you get 2x miles on all other purchases every single day. Where this card becomes really useful and valuable is that you get a $300 statement credit on bookings with the Capital One travel portal. You get a $100 global entry or TSA pre-check credit, and then you also get access to Capital One lounges, priority pass access, and then you get a $100 experience credit and free breakfast when you book through the premier collection of the Capital One travel portal. Now, even with the $300 travel credit and the $100 global entry credit you've already made up, the cost of that annual fee is pretty much negated, which doesn't include even the insane earning rates that you get on all travel purchases if you happen to be using their portal. Now, with this card, I'd recommend you have a score of at least 685. Anything within the 700s is definitely gonna help, like with most cards, but 685 or higher is recommended. Now, the next card here on this list is gonna be the Chase Sapphire Reserve. This card here is by far one of the most popular premium travel credit cards on the market, and when you see these following benefits, you'll understand why. Now, I'd say this is gonna be a step up above the Capital One Venture X, but your miles may vary. It depends on what you value, if you like using Capital One's resources or not. But with Chase, you can't ever really go wrong. With this card, card though, it is gonna come at you with a $550 annual fee. And this is where a lot of people tend to get nervous because they see that number and they start freaking out. Like, this is a little too much. But when you actually go through the welcome bonus offer, some of the credits they offer, and even the point earning redemption categories, you realize it really starts to make sense. So with this card here, you can get a welcome bonus offer of 60,000 bonus UR points after spending $4,000 in the first 3 months. What I love about this card is that when you get those Chase Ultimate reward points, automatically they're worth 50% or more using their portal for redemption. Now, if you hold any other card like the Freedom Flex, the regular Freedom Unlimited, you can go ahead, transfer your points onto the Chase Sapphire Reserve, and all those points together would be worth an increased amount. This also makes the value of the welcome bonus offer worth over $900 just in your first year. On everyday spending though, you also get 10x UR points on hotels and rental cars booked through the Chase Ultimate Rewards portal. You get 10x points on dining booked with Chase Dining. You get 5x points on flights booked with the Chase Ultimate Rewards portal. You get 3x points on dining, takeout, and delivery services, and then 3x points on all other travel purchases outside of the Chase UR portal. For a limited time, they're also giving you 10x points on Lyft, 10x points on Peloton purchases over $150, and then you get a complimentary Dash Pass benefit for a year, and you also get an Instacart Plus benefit, something that I also use, save myself some time on these groceries, and you get that for 1 whole year. And look, if we add up all the benefits and rewards, and you guys can Google this yourself too, the conservative value you're gonna get is at least $1,500 to $2,000 worth of value. The Chase Ultimate Rewards portal is great. Chase is all around just a great issuer, very simple to use. You don't have to worry about transferring your points and doing a lot of time trying to get good redemptions. They're solid. I've had Chase Sapphire cards for a while. I've had the Chase Freedom cards for a while. I have all the Chase Inc cards. On the chance that though you do want to get approved, I recommend that you have a score of at least 700. And I also recommend that you start building your relationship with Chase first through the Freedom Flex card or the Freedom Rise card if you can't even get approved for the Freedom Flex. On top of that, Chase also has a rule called the 524 rule, where if you've been approved for more than 5 or more credit cards in the last 24 months, you'll automatically get denied for a new Chase card. With that being said, if you want to pick up any one of these cards, well, you're in luck, because down below in the description, you'll find links to all of these cards and even more. So be sure to check out those links as well, because it helps out the channel at no cost to you. But just make sure that the welcome bonus offer you get is the most competitive possible. Up next on my list is going to be the American Express Platinum card. Now, lately I've been making a lot of videos on the Platinum card, and that's because there's been a lot of interest on them. A lot of people are hearing about it. They also hear about the annual fee, and they can't break down whether or not this card is worth it. We're not going to get into it because I've made a lot of videos talking about the answer on that. So yes, depending on how you spend your money and how much you travel, it is worth it. For the most part, it is. Even through that first year of holding this card, the benefits you get, even if you don't travel, and that welcome bonus offer, you're able to at least get a positive ROI. With the current welcome bonus offer for this card, it's 80,000 MR points after you spend $6,000 in the first 6 months, and that works out to be spending about like $1,000 a month. If you spend any more than that, you'll be getting that welcome bonus offer way quicker. And based on how much people are spending these days, I see a lot of people hitting these welcome bonus offers at least within the first like 2 to 3 months of card ownership. Now, on top of that, you can also earn 5x membership reward points on flights booked directly with airlines or on AmexTravel.com. You get 5x points on prepaid hotels booked with Amex Travel, and then you get 1x points on everything else. Now, if you're also thinking that the earning rates aren't as good as the last 2 cards we mentioned, that's because the Amex Platinum is really what you would consider to be like a coupon book of all these other benefits. So $200 hotel credit, $200 airline incidental fee credit, $100 global entry TSA pre-check credit, $189 Clear Plus credit, you get global lounge access, you get Uber Cash $200, $155 in Walmart Plus, you get $300 in Equinox, $100 at Saks Fifth Avenue, $240 in digital entertainment credits, and after doing the math, you're getting a couple $1,000s in value. Amex Platinum, have a decent credit score, anything above 680, you should be recommended to get one, but anything above like 720 should be very, very good to go as well. And it always helps to have a relationship prior to applying for some of their higher tier cards within a company setup. Now, the 5th card we have here on this list is going to be the US Bank Altitude Reserve. Now, the US Bank cards are often overlooked. We made a full video talking about it on our channel, and even right now that video ain't doing so well, but for the people watching it, they realize, they're like, okay, Brian, I have been sleeping on these cards. And I would say, after you complete the Amex cards, the Chase cards, Capital One cards, do not overlook US Bank, okay? The card that we're talking about here has an annual fee of $400. Now, when you do get this card, this welcome bonus offer is going to sit at 50,000 bonus points after spending $4,500 in the first 90 days of holding it. Now, according to US Bank themselves, these points points are worth $750 because they value their points higher than most other banks at 1.5 cents per point. From my experience of what I've read online, I would say that's a pretty conservative rate redemption that they're giving themselves to. Now, going into the point earning redemption rates for this specific card, you can earn 5x points on prepaid hotels and rental cars from the Altitude Reward Center. And this is basically their travel booking platform where you can redeem your US bank points, and then you get 3x points on all other eligible travel purchases. And then my favorite here, you get 3x points on mobile wallet purchases. Now, ladies and gents, don't sleep on this card because yes, you can add it to your Apple Pay and pretty much get 3x back on everything. So it's a fantastic catch-all card for shopping. On top of that, you'll also be getting a $325 in annual credits for eligible travel purchases and dining, takeout, and restaurant delivery purchases. You get priority pass, airport lounge access, TSA pre-check, and Visa Infinite Luxury Hotel Collection, which you have access to as well. Now, the one part of US Bank that a lot of people don't like is the fact that they do not have any transfer partners. When it comes to Chase and Amex especially, you're gonna have a lot of transfer partners where you can unlock even more higher value, but with US Bank, you can only redeem these points within the Altitude Reward Center. The other thing I should mention is that US Bank also tends to be a bit more of a conservative lender, meaning you're probably gonna have to get one of their lower tier credit cards first. And on top of that, you really wanna have a good credit score, and they're probably gonna give you a low credit limit at first. Once you hit their requirements, you will though see eventually how great some of their perks are. Now, moving forward on this list at number 6, we have the Hilton Honors Aspire card with an annual fee of $450. So for the welcome bonus offer here, you can earn 150,000 Hilton Honors bonus points after you spend $4,000 in the first 3 months of holding this card. Now, this here sounds insane because it's a lot of points, but it's important to note that Hilton points are worth maybe half a cent each. That being said, it's still over $750 in value right there on the welcome bonus offer. And if you have like a dream Hilton vacation you want to stay at, like Bora Bora or Maldives, like one of those overwater bungalow stuff, you can definitely find your own quantifiable value through getting this card. On top of that, what I like about this card is that you get a free night stay with your welcome bonus offer, as well as every year after card renewal. So with this card, you get 14x Hilton points at participating hotels and resorts in the Hilton portfolio. You get 7x on flights booked directly with airlines or with AmexTravel.com. You get 7x on rental cars. You get 7x on dining in US restaurants, and you get 3x on all other eligible purchases. Now, 7x sounds like a lot, but it's not more than some of the other cards we mentioned just because their point redemption is so poor. However, though, with this card, you can still find yourself making it up through other things like the $250 Hilton Resort credit that you get on your card each anniversary year, as well as complimentary Hilton Diamond status. Now, Diamond status is the GOAT. It's the reason why people get this card, and it's where you also get room upgrades, and you can also get guaranteed late checkout on your stays. So with all that being said, is this card worth the $450 annual fee? Well, it depends, but I would say for the amount of points that you're able to accumulate, and even like our little strategies we mentioned on our channel where you can have up to 3 of these cards all at once, and then you can take your dream vacation at a really nice Hilton resort. Yes, it is, because if you look at it from that standpoint, there are so many downgrade paths. You can accumulate a lot of these Hilton points and just have and save all these Hilton points for whatever vacation that you might have coming up. So now, although this card might not be the best in using it as like a primary daily driver for travel, especially if you're not staying at Hilton properties all the time, this card is still fantastic for you to accrue a bunch of points over time and to take a dream vacation. Plus diamond status, I don't know any credit card that offers you the highest elite status by just getting one of their cards. So I think even with that benefit alone, you can be getting a huge ROI back. To get approved for this card, have a score of at least 690. I've seen scores with under that people get approved for, but that's a recommended one that I'd give you today. If you want to learn more about the ultimate strategy on this card, I made a video that I'll link somewhere here on the screen, or there'll be a card that pops up on your screen as well. Now, the final card on this list here, we're going to be sticking with hotel cards, and that's going to be the Marriott Bonvoy Brilliant card. This is a card that a lot of people don't really talk about, and that's because people see the annual fee and they run for the hill. Wow. This card here has an annual fee of $650, but when you actually take a look at what you get for this card, you realize it's pretty good. So the welcome bonus offer you get is 150,000 Marriott Bonvoy points after you spend $6,000 on the first 6 months of card ownership. Now, that's not all, because right now there's a limited time offer that's valid till early August where you can earn an additional 50,000 points just by staying 6 paid nights at Marriott hotels by early 2024. Now, Marriott points are worth a bit more than the Hilton points we just talked about too, where 1 point with Marriott is worth about 0.7 cents each. So that 200,000 point welcome bonus offer that you could potentially get is still worth over $1,400. With this card, you can also earn 6x Marriott Bonvoy points points at participating Marriott Bonvoy hotels. You get 3x on flights booked directly with airlines, 3x on restaurants worldwide, and then 2x on all other purchases. Perks are pretty solid here when it comes to this card. You get a $300 dining credit where it's $25 a month in saving credits on dining paid for this card. You get complimentary Marriott Bonvoy Platinum Elite status. You get 1 free night each account anniversary a year. You get a $100 Marriott Bonvoy property credit on a minimum 2-night stay. You get a $100 fee credit for TSA pre-check global entry. You get priority pass, select membership, 25 elite night credit towards the next level of Marriott Bonvoy status. And then you can earn an additional choice award after you spend 60 grand on this card in a year, which gets you free nights and even up to $1,000 off a new bed purchased through Marriott. Whew, a lot of benefits there. Now compare this to the Hilton Honors card like we just mentioned. You definitely need to be at least somewhat loyal to the Marriott brand in order to find value from this card. This also means you got to be traveling quite a bit in order to make sure you get the ROI back, because if you're a homebody, you might be losing out on holding a card like this, especially after that welcome bonus offering year. With that being said, I'd recommend you to have a score of at least 690 to get a card like this. Now, if you guys are interested in applying for any one of the cards that I mentioned in this video, be sure to check out the links down below in the description. That supports this channel at no cost to you. You can also scan the QR code anywhere, somewhere on your screen as well. Thank you all so much again for watching. If you want to join our private Facebook group, be sure to check out the links for that down below in the description. Other than that, thank you all so much again for watching. Take care. Peace out.